What is up everyone? Today I wanted to make a video about Thailand. So if you guys didn't know, I just recently came back from Thailand and both times were pretty extended visits. So I thought I'd make a video about my impressions of Thailand. Just a raw, unfiltered talk about it. So just a few disclaimers out of the way. I am North American, primarily residing in North America. I was also there mainly for tourism, although I did work remotely there for a short period of time, and I also do have a local Thai contact there that was able to assist and show me around. Okay, so that's kind of my background before going to Thailand, and now let's just talk about first impressions. So just getting out of the airport, it is very humid. That is coming from someone who's half the year the country is cold. So as soon as I stepped out of the airport, I was already sweating, had some perspiration. It definitely feels like a dry kind of heat as you would expect from a southeast country. I think the coldest it gets is around 25-26 degrees, and that's at peak winter time. So immediately I felt the heat, which isn't a bad thing, honestly. Especially there on tourism, you do want to enjoy some nice temperate weather. So that's good. As soon as you get to the country and start perusing the streets or just driving around the streets, you're going to notice a lot of Buddhist temples. And that's because Thailand is a predominantly Buddhist religion. So you're going to see various temples scattered around the country, which is really a joy to see for someone coming from North America, which is mainly churches. They're beautiful, beautiful structures as well. Some laced in gold, very enormous structures. So if you do want to get culturally enriched or are interested in Buddhist culture, they're open to the public, open to anyone, open to tourists, and you could just kind of pick and choose which temples to view. I recommend going to the Grand Palace, which used to be the home of the Thai royal family up until a few generations ago, several acres, and open to the public. There are also several other religious sites you could see. So right away out of the airport, you're going to see many temples, beautiful, beautiful temples, and you're going to also see many banners or posters about the Thai royal family, especially the current king and queen. And the royal family is going to be everywhere. Businesses show respect by showing their pictures all across different buildings and architecture. If you're wondering who these people are, they're most likely the Thai royal family. Do keep in mind that Thailand is still a monarch society, and there is still a huge tradition in respecting that kind of lineage and tradition. Okay, so those are just the visual things you're going to see right away getting out of the airport. Other first impressions I can say for sure, I love the people of Thailand. They're very, very respectful. They do the Y gesture, which is, and they're very welcoming of tourists and foreigners, more so than many other countries I've been to, which is a joy to see. I love that openness. I love that friendliness. They seem to really welcome anyone from any place and anywhere, as long as, of course, you're respectful. Thailand almost seems like a multicultural society because there's so many foreigners that come into the country every year. Bangkok is actually the most visited city in the world, and for good reason too. But it is a homogenous society where I would say 95% of the workers are Thai citizens. So keep that in mind if you do want to move there permanently or not. You would probably most likely have to work for a foreign company if you want to work in Thailand. And yeah, just going back to people, there seems to be minimal to no judging, at least outwardly. They're very open with the LGBTQ community. The trans community is strong and one of the strongest in Thailand. And people tend to keep them themselves, not get too political. As long as you mind your own business, carry on with your own life, no one really cares about these issues, at least less so in the West, I find. Okay, and that brings me to actually living in Thailand, right? How is it actually living here day to day? Well, as most people know, Thailand's renowned for its beauty in its landscape, its natural beauty, and it's also a big bustling city with things to do 24 hours, especially in big city centers like Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket. So what's the cost of living like, right? It's advertised as very affordable to most people and countries, and I would agree with that sentiment. For what you're getting, it goes a long way, and it's not skimping out on anything either. So they have luxurious 5-star hotels, 4-star hotels, 5-star condos. If you are renting and doing this long term, probably around 600 to 800 American a month for a 5-star facility. And what I mean by a 5-star facility, they will definitely have a luxury pool, like a rooftop pool. They'll have a gym fully decked out with everything you need, barbells, weights, and all that. Most of these 5-star facilities have climbing activities as well, where you could do rock climbing if you're into that. I'm a climber, so that's a big bonus for me. If you do remote work, there's like shared living quarters where you can kind of just do work remotely on your laptop. I've seen that a lot as well. They are also very convenient in having a grocery store like 7-Eleven just in the basement floor, so you don't even have to travel far to get the necessities. And all these 5-star housings like hotels and condos are usually in really prime locations, so not only is the food and groceries right beside you, so is the transportation, and so is many leisure and recreational activities. So that makes the quality of life already really great. And like I said, for a price of around, I would say average 600 to 800 American renting a month, which is not bad at all for what you're getting for all that I listed before. So right away, it goes a long way. And that's like the high end, right? You can definitely get cheaper housing, 4-star, 3-star, a little bit less posh, but gets the job done for half that price. So maybe 300 to 500 American dollars a month. So really it's what you're looking for. There's also hostels are really popular. So if you're backpacking, you can definitely get by with $10 a night, $20 a night. Definitely affordable options in Thailand for any kind of housing you're looking for. And I would say like hotel prices a night. I've been to a few hotels. If you want a 5-star one, it will be around, I would say 100 to 200 American a night. 4-star, maybe 70 to 80. And then 3-star, you could probably get to 40, 50. And again, other hostel options there as well if you are on a budget. So cost of living is fairly affordable in Thailand for what you're getting, like I said. Okay, so let's talk about one of my most favorite topics, which is food. Food in Thailand is amazing. It's cheap. It's high quality. I'm a fan of Thai food, but even if you're not a fan of Thai food, they have several different Asian cuisines. The Japanese food scene is pretty big, so if you're big on sushi, tonkatsu, ramen, they have a wide selection of that. There's also several Thai food besides the, of course, traditional pad Thai that's world famous. They have pad kee mao, they have khao soy, they have pork stew leg, they have Hainanese rice. A lot of variety of Thai food. And very affordable too if you're choosing Thai food. I would say it would be around 1 to 2 American for a plate of food. And like I said, not just Asian food, there is a big German selection too. German food's pretty popular there. There's Korean food, there's Chinese food, you can get shawarma, there's Indian food too. So a lot of selection there that you could choose from. And because, like I said before, the weather is very temperate, very warm, it always goes above 20 degrees. There's many food festivals and street festivals. So in Bangkok in particular, they're called Jod fairs. And I've been to around 5 to 6 of them. They usually offer the same food, like Thai street food, and they're usually pretty high quality. I don't have to worry about hygiene issues or anything like that. I've been to many of them. Cleanliness is spot on and they taste really good. It's a good way to kind of explore and do an activity. And they're usually operational from afternoon all the way to late night. So I would say from 12 to 11 p.m. I love these Jod fairs because not only do they have these great food, there's also these souvenirs and kind of little items you could get that can really be memorabilia for your trip in Thailand. So I highly recommend going to a few of these if you have a chance. Also, I do want to note that there's a lot of restaurants in Thailand and they all seem to be full, and I've never been to a bad restaurant in Thailand. So really, even though you probably plan your trip, you'll probably see what's popular, what's Michelin guide and all that. Honestly, if you just choose whatever you're in the mood for, let's say khao soy for example, which is curry Thai noodles, and just pick a khao soy place, a local, you won't be disappointed. I've never been disappointed, so maybe just try out the local places if the lines are too long. Food is really good in Thailand and I highly recommend it. The one thing I will note though is the water in Thailand. I noticed that every restaurant, every local diner will give you bottled water and not tap water. And that seems to be the norm to drink bottled water even at home. So I will go to the local 7-Eleven, local Tops to get some bottled water to drink instead of the normal tap, just because that seems like the custom and norm. I don't know the exact water quality. That is something to keep in mind. But in the mall, they also have a wide selection of food court food, which is very different from what I'm used to in food court food. What I'm used to is McDonald's, Burger King's, New York fries, all that kind of stuff. But in the malls in Thailand, they have Michelin guide food court food. So they've been advertised on the Michelin website, and I can see why, because the quality is really good and they almost restaurant quality, but in the food court. And it's usually in the basement or in the top floor. That's how they kind of divide their food sections. And there's a lot of food options there. It ranges from Singaporean to Indian curry to, of course, Thai food to Chinese food, a lot of bubble tea places in those food courts as well. So many options. And I would highly recommend just checking out the mall just for food options. So I just talked about the wide selection of food that you have in malls. So let's talk about malls now. So I love the malls in Thailand. Definitely if you go to Thailand, visit one of these malls. When I first came to Thailand, I didn't think I would be going to malls because that's just capitalism, right? Just shopping. But malls have been one of my favorite destinations in Thailand. And for several reasons. The one we talked about before, you could get good food quality there. It's also, I mean, of course, air conditioned because it's an indoor facility. So that's a big plus because Thailand could get really hot, especially in the summer. So just getting a place to cool down and an activity away from the sweltering heat is a big plus. And the malls are very big, guys. They are around 5 to 10 floors. Of course, you have the standard mall, right? Just various stores. They have a lot of American stores, Thai stores, famous stores. But besides the stores with standard shopping, they do have various activities depending on the mall. For example, there was a mall I went to which had a whole aquarium on the basement floor. Yeah, like a whole aquarium, guys, and it was pretty huge with the standard sharks, octopuses, and all that. Some malls have gigantic theaters which you could go to, which is on the top floor of the mall. Again, another good activity, and the theaters are a lot different. The seats are like couches laying down. Definitely a better experience in my opinion to view movies, so definitely check that out if you get a chance. And a useful tip about malls is all malls have multi-level parking, but you do have to pay a fee to do the parking. But if you do end up purchasing something in the malls, you will be able to waive that fee. And how you do that is you keep the receipt and you go to the counter and they will stamp it as paid for an item. And depending on your duration of stay in the mall, let's say 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour in the parking, we'll have various tiers of prices that you have to pay for the parking, and will be correspondent to increased amount that you have to pay to get that parking fee waived. So if you do buy something in the mall, make sure to keep that receipt so that you can have that stamped so you don't have any parking fee. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is transportation and driving. So this will be an area that's a lot different than what I'm used to. So definitely, first off, if you're a tourist here or you're just visiting, definitely just use taxi or a ride sharing app. There's no Uber or Lyft in Thailand, so they predominantly use Grab and Bolt. So definitely download that before your trip and utilize it if you can, because the roads in Thailand, especially Bangkok, the city that I stayed at the most, is very, very busy. So going to the taxi, they're very fast. Like any other rideshare app, they use GPS technology, and it is cheaper than North American prices. Taxis too, they do have the base fare and it adds based off kilometers. And I will post a picture here showing the rates at my time of visit. They may change during your visit. Oh look, it's Arlo. My dog's here, guys. Okay, so let's get that right out of the way first. Definitely take a rideshare or taxi for transportation if you can, because it will save you the hassle of driving yourself. Yeah, so other forms of transportation you can take are tuk-tuks and songtaos. So these are very unique to Thailand and Southeast Asia. They look like this, and they are a very convenient way because there's many of them everywhere, especially popular dense tourist spots. And I would actually recommend you taking one at least once, both of these, because they are a very unique experience that I can't do in my country. So if you can't do in your country, if anything else is for the experience. They're pretty fast as well, not as fast as motor vehicles, of course, like cars, but it gets the job done. The only thing that I would say, if you do take those, there are a bit of safety concerns because they don't have seat belts or fasteners or harnesses. So take that as you will. You are taking reduced safety for that kind of transportation mode, but it is an option and is a very commonly used option. I do want to go back to Grab and Bolt because you will see a lot of motorcycles on the road and scooters, and those are actually applicable for Grab and Bolt as well. So you can take a motorcycle taxi, I suppose, or motorcycle rideshare, in which you ride at the back and you kind of hold on to the cyclist. I mean, it's a faster way, it's a cheaper way. You could go through traffic. Again, safety concerns because it is a motorcycle, right? So, but it is an option that I want to present to you guys because there is a lot of motorcycles. There's a lot of delivery with Grab and Bolt, like food deliveries. So there's a lot of motorcyclists on the road that do that, as well as the normal rideshare that I mentioned before. But there are at least half, I would say, in my experience, 50% of the vehicles on the road are motorcycles. So if you're driving in Thailand, you have to be very careful of not hitting them. So just always check your blind spot, your mirrors, to make sure there's no motorcyclists in dark zones. Okay, so let's talk about driving in Thailand since we're already on that topic. So in my stay in Thailand, I did drive primarily as transportation for 2 months around in Bangkok City, the heart of Bangkok. And I can say for sure, it is difficult. Okay, so what makes driving difficult in Bangkok is, of course, the heavy congestion, the traffic. That's going to be an adjustment if you're not from a big city center. But additionally, all the motorcyclists, like I talked about before, you have to just check your blind spots more. They kind of weave into traffic. So you got to be careful about those cyclists. Also, one thing to note is they do drive on the right side. So I'm used to driving on the left side. So the right side of the road is actually the fast lane. The left side is the slow lane. And everything is kind of inverted if you're used to the left driving like I am. So the right turns are more wider, left turns are shorter and more kind of quick. You would just need some time to adjust to that kind of left-right versus. One thing I will commend Bangkok City for is they do have countdowns for the lights. For example, you'll see 180 seconds and it'll start counting down from red, and that's 3 minutes. So you know that after that countdown's done, it'll be green for you to go. There are also arrows painted on the road, so it tells you it's right turn only, left turn only, straight. But another thing to keep in mind is, especially during rush hour or lunch hour as they call it, you know on the highway how there's the shoulder on the left side, which is not a real lane? Well, it becomes a real lane in lunch hour, and that's just kind of normal in Thailand, where they'll form another lane right next to you. So you're very close on the left and right side because of that. So definitely if you see that happening, don't think it's out of the ordinary, because it's very normal, and you just have to prepare yourself for that, because that was an adjustment I had to make. Roads also do go diagonal, tend to follow a grid pattern, but they do deviate from that slightly with these diagonal roads like I mentioned, and these short alleyways. Besides the even scooter and motorcycles, you do have to be careful of what we mentioned before, the tuk-tuks and the songtaos, because they are not harnessed or seatbelted, and they are a little bit more prone to damage and bodily harm. Definitely be careful when you're around them. Yeah, so overall driving in Thailand, I would say you just need a few days to adjust, especially if you're not from Southeast Asia or just Asia in general. The right and left adjustment, just the roads in general, the people in general, the vehicles there. But you could definitely do it, but I would definitely not recommend it, especially if you're here just to enjoy a trip, recreational trip, leisure. I would just say stick to the taxis, stick to the tuk-tuk, stick to the grabs and bolts. It just saves you a lot of stress and hassle. Also, I've never rented a car, so I don't know how that works, but I'm sure they have various rental services all across Thailand if you do want to drive in Thailand. Okay, and then the last transportation mode you could take is, of course, the public transit, right? They have normal bus on the major roads. They also have MRT, which is the subway line that I was using in Bangkok. But they also have BTS, which is the elevated rail service. They're all great, the transportation, especially if you're going to big city zones. Starting with the subway, how you do this is you tell them what destination you want to go. You can either do a self-service machine or go to the counter, and they'll give you this black token, which is a one-way token to your destination or your stop. So let's say I want to go to Sukhumvit from Rama 9, which is around 2 to 3 stops. They will give me this black token, which is around, I want to say around $1 to $2. And then you take that token, you scan it, which will open the gate, the automatic gate. You take the train platform, which Google Maps is really useful in this case. They tell you the exact platform to take, which exit, which entrance. So definitely follow that or any other navigation software. So anyways, take the token, it scans you in. And then when you get to Sukhumvit, for example, you just empty your black token into that same barricade machine, and then it'll let you in and also recycles the token. Same thing with the bus, you could just pay around maybe 70 cents to $1 and it takes you to your destination, and same with the BTS. So public transport is definitely a viable option. I can say for sure that the subways are very clean. So it's clean, fast, and safe for the environment. So yeah, take transit if you can. If you just want to get to your destination and you had a long night or whatnot and you don't want to worry about public transport, you could definitely still take taxi, tuk-tuk, or songtao. Okay, so now I want to just talk about the etiquette or the respect that you should show in Thailand. So one thing that may deviate from the West is PDA, or public displays of affection. That's not really commonly seen in Thailand, so try to refrain from that until you're somewhere private. Holding hands is okay, but kissing in Thailand or anything beyond holding hands is not really a common occurrence in Thailand, so definitely keep that in mind. The Y gesture that I did before, which is this is the Y gesture. It's a sign of respect, and if you go to any customer service facility, you'll notice that they do that. So if you want to be respectful, you could reciprocate by doing the same Y gesture. One thing also you need to note is patting a head is seen as disrespectful in Thailand. So definitely don't pat someone's head because seen as condescending, and it's also disrespects their culture there. Another big thing is tipping is not a requirement or even expectation in Thailand. Coming from my country where tipping is not a requirement, and I put that in quotes because it kind of is just culturally accepted that you must tip a certain amount, a certain percentage. But in Thailand, the price is included with tips and tax. So whatever it says, if it says 300 baht, it's 300 baht. You don't have to worry about that. And that's a big plus for me because I don't want to calculate or do any additional service fees. They should all just be all encompassing like they do in Thailand. Another thing you should keep in mind, especially if you're visiting temples, is exposure to skin. And what I mean by that is you're not allowed, or it's prohibited to show your skin on your lower legs, your lower torso. It's just a rule you'll see in various temples of an X on shorts, skirts, and whatnot. So if you are planning to visit holy sites or temples, definitely wear the appropriate attire, which means mainly the bottom torso not exposed. Of course, no tank tops, anything like that. T-shirts are okay, long sleeves are okay. jeans are okay, all that, just nothing that's too revealing. Okay, so let's go through some common tasks you need to do at the airport or just in the beginning of your travels. You definitely need some sort of internet or telecommunication service. So you can definitely get that at the airport, and for reasonable prices too. You could get a tourist SIM card or a 30-day SIM card, which gives you unlimited data as well as calling for, I would say, around 15 to 20 American. And once you get that, you'll be connected and you'll be good to go for that month. And I think they have 14-day month and a few other options. So just pick the day duration that you're staying at and then pay for it at the airport, and they'll install it right away, make sure everything's going. Additionally, you do want to have some cash in Thailand because it is a cash-based society. They accept card, but a lot of services do still only accept cash. So you do want to exchange whatever currency you have for Thai baht. And in the airport, they do have various foreign currency exchange brokers. And the one that I would recommend is Super Rich. I just find that they have the most favorable rates to customers, and they have that in BKK Airport in the basement floor, just by the lift area. So you can exchange that if you want to cash right away. If not, major malls, and if not, there are various places all across Thailand that have currency exchange. Like most malls have it. They'll have them on the streets at various hotspots. So you don't have to worry about that if you are in a rush to get to your destination. So the last thing I want to make note of is just recreational smoking. So you could definitely smoke in Thailand with cigarettes. It's legal. But one thing that's not legal is vapes. And this may be surprising to you because you're going to see a lot of people vaping in Thailand. Officially, it's not legal and it's not sold or supposed to be sold by any official store, but there are vendors out there. So you'll see people vaping and it's not too enforced. So if you are a big vapor, it is an option, but just know that it's not legal. Additionally, Thailand legalized smoking marijuana 2 years ago. So there's various dispensaries popping up all over Thailand, and I find that they're mainly actually foreign owned. So they're fairly fluent in English. So if you do want to partake in that, you can. And what I could say, the dispensaries are very, very nice. They have the dispensary floor where you could definitely buy flour, bongs, smoking utensils, rolling paper, all that good stuff. But most dispensaries also have activities like a upstairs lounge area with PS5, with TVs, with installed with Netflix, all the major streaming services, which you could just chill out, smoke, and play with some buddies or your partner. They also have pool tables downstairs. I've seen joint bar dispensaries. So downstairs is a bar, upstairs is a dispensary with all the amenities you could think of. So very nice, actually. So if you're a recreational smoker with marijuana, definitely check it out. And I would say the price is very variable actually, because it is new, like I mentioned. So you could get anywhere between, I would say, $7 a gram to $30 a gram. Yeah, it's a pretty wide range of price. So definitely shop around before going and buying your product, because you definitely don't want to spend $30 on a gram. But yeah, it is new and it's more open now, more receptive to the Thai community, but public smoking is still not a thing. They have designated areas in these dispensaries or places that sell that you should use. Definitely be respectful, don't public smoke. Public drinking is also a no-go in Thailand. So of course, just be respectful. If you're going to be drinking, do it at home or at the bar. So overall, those are my kind of raw thoughts about Thailand over my visits there. Like I said, I love this country, love the people, love the food, love the culture, and it's one of my favorite countries I've visited so far, and I'm definitely going to go back. So to all my Thai friends, Sawadee ka, and I hope this video finds you well. And this is just a video I wanted to make because I just came back from Thailand recently and I just have some thoughts and I thought I'd just share it with people. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Thailand. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're planning to go in Thailand, if you have similar thoughts or opinions. Until next time, bye. Bye guys.